Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, this is the second video I'm shooting today. I'm going down to the beach next week, going to Playa Jaco where I lived before I came to this location. And although I'll have internet and it'll be decent internet, I never know just how good my speed will be. So I kind of try to get a little bit ahead before I go out of town for a few days. So kind of shooting one or at least two videos a day for a few days, kind of stockpile, and then I'll be good. And I hope you guys will follow along. I know if you've been watching me for a while, you've seen me when I was living down there, and I went down there on a little trip back about a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago. I lose track of time, but anyhow, I hope you'll follow. I want to talk about raw vegan versus cooked today. And we're just, basically the message is just going to be just keeping it as clean as possible. I do videos like this every day on raw vegan, on the raw vegan lifestyle, on a plant-based lifestyle too. I don't harp on the raw vegan. I should mention that on some of these, that it's like, I'm a high raw vegan. I'm a mostly fully raw vegan, but I don't throw the cooked under the bus. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you can stay subscribed to the channel. And I do try to do my best to offer content to people that are fully raw vegan and that are not fully raw vegan and that maybe don't even want to be fully raw vegan. So we're just going to kind of compare this a little bit today, and just like I'm going to just kind of give you my perspective on this once again, like every single video is on this. I'm not necessarily an educator. I'm not trying to say this is how you should be doing it. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion. I'm just constantly seeking. I'm a truth seeker. I'm not an advocate for this raw vegan lifestyle. I'm an advocate for the truth when it comes to our health, and I'm constantly seeking. I don't hold to any particular thing. I can let go of something tomorrow. Now, having said that, before I even get into this, I will just start off by telling you that, and I keep repeating myself in these videos, that I feel phenomenal. I'm fully raw right now, and I'm actually really light fully raw. I'm not eating overt fats. Very simple combining. I'm eating a lot of mono meals, a lot of bi meals. I just had a green smoothie with bananas, spinach, and a little bit of spirulina. So, I mean, I'm just about, I could almost float away right now. I'm feeling so good. So don't let, like, just because I don't throw the cooked food under the bus like a lot of you raw vegans do, and just because I don't preach and harp on raw is law, don't think that I don't see the value in it. One of the biggest things for me, even if I thought raw is law for myself, that I would never like preach like that, is, like I've said before, practicality. A lot of, the numbers are so small for people that are plant-based in the first place, vegan, that, okay, it's like, okay, now we're gonna take them way over here. Most people are not gonna be raw vegan, or they're not gonna be anywhere close to fully raw vegan, but more and more people are becoming plant-based. But like I say, just wanted to say that though, that I don't ever want to discourage you, and I would always encourage you, even if you're one of those people, and I know there's going to be there's two different types of people out there, and I'm really not talking to either one of them. There's the extreme raw foodist that is just raw as law. They'll eat anything. They'd eat garbage. They'd go in a dumpster before they'd eat cooked. And then there's those out there that are kind of anti-raw. They just they got something against the raw. They really hate it. So I'm not talking to those. I'm kind of talking to those seekers in between. But when it comes to cooked, okay, first of all, raw? Here's the holy grail for raw, is the 118. It's considered, like most raw foodists, raw vegans, especially if they're doing, you know, the dehydrated thing, or if they're heating something a little bit, the holy temperature is apparently 118. Sometimes people say 115. When foods are exposed to temperatures greater than 118, they start to break down. And one of the first things that one of the main things that breaks down are enzymes. And the enzymes break down that help us to digest our food. And this can put a burden on the pancreas. You know, like I say, as far as the enzyme thing goes, I've read that stuff backwards and forwards. I've read it from different people's perspectives. And I do believe it to a certain extent, but a lot of the stuff that people are going on, a lot of the stuff that raw vegans are quoting are older research that has been kind of like, maybe some of that enzyme stuff isn't as accurate as, you know, as some people are spouting it to be. Always check your sources and always look at different sources out there. Don't just like, you know, just glom onto something. Oh, and the same one, I wish I'd have written it down. Like I said, I was just looking around for some quotes here and there and just a few little like details and things. And in that same thing where I was reading about the 118, the single biggest, listen to this one now, this is gonna be a good part of this video. The single biggest mistake raw foodists make is overeating certain macronutrients, namely fat. Listen, this, you know, you guys know I keep it pretty simple, so we're not going to get into a whole lot of details and this and that and blah, blah, blah over there. But I'm about clean eating. You know, I've done a lot. I've done videos recently. I did that video, and I can't remember what order things are coming out just a few days ago on just plant-based eating, on the value of eating whole plant-based foods. You know, not getting so much into this raw versus cooked, because I think a lot of times when people focus, that fat thing right there, like I say, I keep coming back to that fat thing. And believe me, on this raw thing, that fat can add up quick. Did you know that 4 to 5 ounces of walnuts, 4 to 5 ounces, that's not a large serving, is between 740 and 920 calories? Now let me tell you this, I will say one thing that I will agree with 100%. When it comes to the raw versus cooked. The digestion of cooked requires more energy than raw. That is definitely for sure. Now, not a lot more. When I talked about the energy and not having that big drain, it's not like you necessarily, like it's not like eating something heavy fat or like really bad where you just major come down, but it takes more blood going there, and it takes more energy in your body to digest that food. And it also takes more time. So just knowing that the raw, you know, boom, very little impact on your body, doesn't take very long to digest. The cooked takes a little bit longer. So I just thought I should throw that little tidbit in there when it does come raw versus cooked, because they're, like I say, you got to look at both sides of everything. And therein lies the unhealthy part of this raw vegan lifestyle. There's a certain segment out there that have been convinced that it's raw, no matter nothing, that those enzymes or whatever, if you go above that 118, if you eat that food, that's the holy grail, eating raw. And then they're shoving these damn things in their mouth like crazy. Makes no sense whatsoever. You know, it's just like, I saw a recipe the other day, macadamia nuts. In fact, I keep these things in the house. I've had these, I can't even tell you the last time I use them. I keep them just, you know, a recipe every now and then. And I don't have a thing against, I'm not saying nuts are bad, don't ever eat nuts, but it's just like, you see these recipes, here's a little package of macadamia nuts. What did I see the other day? A recipe that called for like half a cup of macadamia nuts. And I see these things that like have a cup of cashews with this other nut or this seed or whatever. And I'm like, are you out of your freaking minds? Are you out of your freaking minds? Or I still notice raw vegans out there. I thought everybody had kind of gotten off the oil thing, but there are raw vegans out there that also eat a lot of the oil in their stuff. So it's like, I think the way they're being able to hang on to being fully raw is by eating all that fat. Then on the other side, we have these people that are eating very clean, but they're eating cooked food. I'm sorry, if I have to make a choice, now, okay, let me clarify my stand on this just so it'll be crystal clear. If I have a choice, if there's good stuff around, you know, convenience, blah, 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 if I have a choice, I will always pick a raw meal. Always, always, always. But, you know, it's not always going to work out like that. So, if I don't have, you know, if I'm going to eat cooked food, the next best thing is like, I'm not freaked out about this. Oh my God, I'm eating cooked. I want to eat clean. You know, I want to eat clean food. So you have people that are, say, eating, so, you know, it's like we compare these two people. We've got the person over here, and I see them. Man, I'm on Instagram all the time. I'm just cruising, just watching things, seeing images, and all these images on Pinterest, Instagram, or I won't say all of them. I actually follow a lot of purists on there that are just posting fruit, but you see all these combos and all this fat, and you're just thinking, how much fat is in that over there? And then, but they're like, we are the superiors. We are the raw vegans. Oh, look at those cooked vegans. They don't know what they're doing over there. And then you got this person over here that maybe has, you know, like something they're showing. They've got a couple of steamed sweet potatoes. They've got some steamed broccoli. They've got a nice big salad. You know, maybe they have some chickpeas. Maybe they have some black beans. They're not cooking with oil. They're not cooking with salt. Their fat is very low. Everything they're eating is very clean. You do the math. I'm sorry if I'm walking through that line and I know they'll be the highest of the high, those people that have already floated away, and they were saying, well, if I was presented with the option, I just wouldn't eat that day. I would fast. Well, good for you. No, God bless you on that, but I wouldn't. You give me that choice. In other words, I'm being a little silly here. You give me that choice of a high-fat raw meal or a nice, clean, light, cooked meal. I'm going to take the cooked meal every day. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, when I'm talking about the fat and stuff, like, I don't care. Like I was telling somebody recently, when Melissa was here, we made one meal, like this mock tuna dip that was uber fat. I'm not talking about special occasions. I'm not talking about every once in a while. I'm talking about on the regular basis. Yeah, I'll take the cooked meal any day of the week over what I consider poor raw options. And it's not always just the fat. I just see what I consider a lot of poor raw options out there. I see, you know, they buy these products that are raw, but they're kind of processed. They come from the stores. It's just this anything to be raw. We'll put anything in our mouth because we kind of stay part of the club if we just stay raw. And it's not like a thinking thing of like, okay, what is the best thing for my body? Now, before I finish this one off, I will tell you this, like recommendations for people that are raw, that mostly raw, that eat cooked sometimes, or cooked that eat raw. I think it's a good thing, like, you know, sometimes people do raw till 4, they do raw till dinner. And I wonder how they do it, and I try to watch their plates, and I'm like, see, I don't really know how to eat cooked because it's just always a fallback thing for me. So sometimes I just eat a bunch of starch. I eat a bunch of this or that because it's just not my thing, and I know I'm not going to do it for very long. But when I'm a little bit more balanced, like when I say maybe have a couple of steamed sweet potatoes and maybe a cooked, like when I'm in the States, maybe some steamed sweet potatoes and some collard greens boiled in a pot. Doesn't bother me all day. That doesn't slow me down. I don't feel it. I don't feel any indigestion. I don't feel that loss of energy. I've got just as much energy to go out and do what I want to do. But also too, besides those, try to, when you're eating the cooked, always try to have some raw with it. Have that big salad. If you're going to eat cooked, balance it off. Eat some of that salad with it. But in the end, you probably knew what I was going to say from the beginning of this one. It's all about health, and it's all about eating clean. I can't say anything more than that. I see so many cooked vegans out there that, in my opinion, that are just much healthier and much cleaner and much more vibrant than the raw counterparts. Now, this raw thing can be done in a vibrant way. In fact, I've started putting, you know, I'm working out regular, put on a pound or two. So, I mean, I can do it with the raw, but you have to work a little harder. I must admit, and I do have a little bit, you know, I work from home, I have more time on my hands, but anyhow, just make the healthy choices and just try to eat a lot of whole plant-based foods. Eat a lot of fruit and veggies. Summer's coming. Just put the good stuff in your body and throw the bad stuff out the door. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again tomorrow. Got a little tongue-tied there. Peace.